there for life. I'm always for life, nigga. This a blow. Hey, yo, Madara. Here go a class for you, my nigga. 140 for the rebel. The world turned its back on me. I'm a crippling. We got soldiers. He got soldiers, but I got different ones. Ain't no way out. I tell you what. Don't pray for nothing. Nothing in the curse. We can't forgive us for this. Remain in the trenches. Trust in the Lord, but please forgive me for the times that I did. If rankings give me, have your respect to your apprentice. Be about your business. This loyalty's a damn sentence. Look, trying to pick up with a blind field. They said there'll be many mansions. I'm just grinding for my time share. The devils ain't playing fair. They hunt you like bad pal, but ain't no getting out the game like Jumanji. You take that oath, it's a Dundee. They try to deal death to a priest. You won't make it out in one piece. So you can stand. Just make sure you got the heart. Say your name 3 times. It is death to us part. So how you feel about this truth I done shown? This ain't the like you think, little nigga. I should won't. Even your own people go disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name. So you better keep it on. Ain't no more guessing. Ain't no more questions. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Jetson. Murder for capital 9. Murder at the Capitol. The world in amazement. We like fuck 'em, raise it, raise it. I pity those watching life as it go by. Be giving mercy in this life, I don't know why. And pump smoke, never try to avoid. The dead at home, my brother be the dead. It's all I don't. It's a photo salute, my nigga. Salute, my nigga. Like how you stay focused. I told him I'm motivated cause of you, my nigga. Brotherhoods and weapons, still got weapons on the sink. Now I never do my niggas like Bishop did Raheem. Never mind in all beliefs. They under anesthesia. Shorty say she leave me, said she wanna let that love go. So I let that love grow. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blood oath. So, how you feel about this truth I done show? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people go disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on.
All right. Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School, Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I'm the commander, Junior Hunter. Today is the ISUPK Austin's Monday History Breakdown class. We're going to be going over prophetically that Black Hispanics and Native Americans are Israelites according to the Bible, because that's the #1 source of why we are the Israelites, and that should be the only thing we have to go to say that we are Israelites. But through people being ignorant and people not believing, we got to go through other historical texts and other things to prove it. So that's what we'll be doing today's class. For most part, we're going to be going over Deuteronomy 28. If you never heard about Deuteronomy 28, is a chapter that proves that Black Hispanics and Native Americans are Israelites based on the curses the Lord said He was going to give it to us if we disobey God's laws. The reason why we die today is because we don't follow the law. We are lawless people, and because of that, we are able to show that we are the children of Israel. All right. So we're going to start probably with the Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 1 first.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 1.
28?
Salakia. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently to the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee high above all nations of the earth.
Now you see, we're not on high above all nations. Where we at? We below all nations. They said if you should do the law, statute, commandments, you would be on high. So look at us right now. What did that tell you? We didn't keep the law, statute, commandments. We didn't keep the thing the Lord told us to keep. We didn't choose life, we chose death, right? Give me verse 15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou shalt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So now we disobey the Lord God, right? And it's something that's so heavy about this chapter. It's like, look what he's saying. He said, but it shall come to pass, what I want, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Right? The people he was talking to at the moment didn't experience that, but we did. So what does that tell you? That's regeneration in the Bible.
Right. Right.
He let them know these curses are going to come upon you. How would it come upon them that was going to die? Because we are our ancestors. We are the people at the time. We couldn't escape that. Christianity want to act like you can escape the judgment that the Lord has for you, like you're gonna die and just be all good, man. That's what the scripture says. Better to fear, don't fear the man that can kill the body, but fear the man who could kill the body and the soul.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. Now these are gonna be the curses that we're gonna go through to prove that we are children of Israel. Let me get okay, first let me get 46 too, verse 46.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 46.
Right.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign,
right,
and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Yeah, these gonna be a sign. This is what the Lord is saying. These things right here that he's finna talk about that's going to happen to you shall be a sign to let you know that you are the children of Israel. Because for a moment we discontinued from our heritage. Right. And if it wasn't for this, we wouldn't know who he was. If it wasn't for the Lord if it wasn't for the Lord punishing us for disobedience, we would never know. If the Lord never punished us for our disobedience, the Lord, he wouldn't be a God worth serving. He would be just like every other, it'd be just like every other religion. And they saw false gods. They could do what they want. They could either choose to follow their religion or choose not to. Ain't nothing gonna happen to them. They're gonna live the exact same life. Us, on the other hand, having a father, not being bastards, our father's going to punish us. Our father's going to punish us for a time being, right? Now let me get Deuteronomy 28. Let me see what I want. Let me get Deuteronomy. I'm not gonna go in order. Let me get 56.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 56.
Right.
The tender and the delicate woman among you, which would not have ventured to set her soul, to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness. Her eyes shall be evil towards her husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter.
Now, how do we fit this curse? How ain't our women hate our men? Right. Don't our women hate their children? How they hate their children? You think because she's a single black mother, she love her children? She's the reason why the father's not in the house. Right. And if she take that father out the house, what does that show? That she don't love her children. Because a child need a father. A child need a father, so she don't want that man in the house. Shows that she don't love her kids. Why? Because she'd rather go do her own lust and what she wants rather than what her kid needs. Right. That's what she does. Right. Keep going. When you get a chance, go ahead.
Verse 57. And towards her young one that cometh out between her feet. Right. And towards her children which she shall bear. Right. For she shall eat them for one of all things secretly in the siege of straightness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gate. It said, for she shall eat them for one of all things. What does that mean, man? At a time, they had to really eat their children. Right. You know how low of a time you got to be to eat your child? That's right. Right. And that's what happened to us, man, when we disobeyed the Lord. And these devils put us in a situation where we had to do that. Right? Now, how else? Go ahead, sir. Oh, no, my bad. How else that's eating your child? You can eat your child today? Abortions. I'm right. And that's why it says, in one of all things. What's the number one reason why people get abortions? I ain't ready to raise no child. I still want to live my life. Right. It's a hot girl summer. I still got my life to live. I can't do this. It's gonna mess up my job. It's gonna mess up my career. Right. That's what we do as a people. We go get it. All women go get abortions. Matter of fact, I'm gonna jump in the gun. I'm gonna read what I got first. This is I'm gonna start from the beginning when we said the woman hates the man. A woman used to be happy she had a husband. Right. Now a woman's out front of the man today. She gotta be better than her husband today. We're gonna see why and where that come from, right? This is the Willie Lynch letter, right? It says, we have reversed the relationships in her natural uncivilized state, right? Talking about the black woman, right? She would have a strong dependency on the uncivilized nigger male, and she would have a limited protective dependency toward her independent male offspring, and will raise female offspring to be dependent like hers. Right. Nature had provided for this type of balance, meaning that this is the type of stuff that's supposed to happen. A woman's supposed to be submissive unto a man. That's why there was a curse onto us. Because nowadays, all women are not submissive to us. Right? We'll keep reading. It says, we reverse nature by burning and pulling one civilized nigger apart
and bull whipping the other to the point of death, all in her presence. By her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed, the ordeal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen independent state. How will women say, I don't need a man, I'm independent?
Right.
I don't need no man. What's this coming from? Through slavery. That's how stuff like this, practical things, we wasn't destroyed overnight. It took a time to destroy us.
That's right.
It took a time for these curses to play an effect to us. And this is how it happened. They made the woman not need the man no more. They made the man seem weak, and that's what America is still doing today. They make men seem weak. And why a woman, if they don't turn lesbian, what they go do? They go get another man from another race because it's his kingdom. Instead of wanting to fight with his man he had right here, be impressed with the man she has right here, right? It says the ordeal, appendant state, in this frozen psychological state of independence, she will raise her male and female offspring and reverse roles, meaning that she's going to raise her males to be what? Feminine, and raise her females to be masculine, right? Now, if you raise your male to be feminine, what that leads to? Us shooting ourselves in the streets. Because you don't know how to dispute arguments. It does lead to homosexuality too, but that's the number one cause why brothers are shooting other brothers, because they're raised by a woman. Right. That's why, right? For fear of the young male's life, she would psychologically train him to be mentally weak, independent, but physically strong. And that's why women today, when we give them a speech about cops, they damn near treat us like, oh, we get to talk like we still slave. They will blame us. If we get gunned down the street because we talk back to a cop, they will still blame us, saying that we should never talk back to a cop. Right. As if we don't want to stand on our manhood and don't want to be treated like a slave no more. Right. That gives you a reason to kill me because I wasn't obedient. Good night, man. Because she has become psychologically independent, she will train her female offspring to be psychological independent as well. What have you got? You got the nigger woman out front and the nigger male behind. That's today. That's from trade slavery today. One of the curses that's going on right now in our community, right? Now, read 28 and 57 again.
Look at Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 57. And toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them.
All right, eat them. Remember we said there's abortions as well, right? Now I'm finna read this, right? It says the abortion consumer. This is a study they did, right? It says the leading consumer of the abortionist services in the African American female is the African American female. According to 2011 abortion surveillance report issued by the Center for Disease Control, Black women make up 14% of the childbearing population, yet obtain 36.2% of reported abortions. That's reported abortions. That's not the abortions you get back in the alley. Right? Black women have the highest abortion ratio in the country, with 474 abortions per 1,000 live births. Percentages at these levels illustrate that more than 19 million Black babies have been aborted since 1973. Right. This is in 2011 when this study was calculated. That's what talking about. She would eat her children. That's a curse. We can't even have soldiers come up because a Black woman is killing them. That's right. And that's why it's important that we got to change our life first before we go out there and start speaking against the oppression that we're going through. Because one, if you don't change your life, you are the reason why we're going through this oppression. You helping the oppressor out. He don't want to come and that's how show how a wicked bastard he is, because he don't have to go down to damn Tops grocery store in Buffalo and shoot them people. You don't have to go down and shoot us or pull us over and kill us and hang us. You don't have to do that. All women are doing it for us. That's not enough for you, right? Because he's not satisfied with blood. Right. He's not, right? Let me see if I want anything. All right. Let's go to 28 and 54.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother and towards the wife of his bosom and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall eat. Right.
We are become, they like to say black on black crime a lot, right? Now, we came to a point where we hate our people because we learned it from somebody. Right. They always want to make it seem like we just straight criminals, but everything we done did is from learning from the oppressor. He had civil wars and world wars where he wanted to go fight his own people. We wasn't doing that, but we wanted to be like our father, the devil, and went to go do them things, right? So I'm gonna read this study. Read this, what it says. It says the same FBI data, however, shows that most deaths occur with the same racial group. According to 2012 data, 91% of black deaths were caused by black criminals, and 84% of white homicides were committed by whites. The reason why I put that in there because it shows you that ain't no difference. We killing each other just like the white man's killing each other. Why he's not in poverty. He's not going through PTSD of slavery. So why is he killing his own people? See, we know why we killing our own people. We in poor. We over here fighting for the pieces, the crumbs.
Right.
You made us fight for crumbs. That's what happened to us, right? But you fight. What you fighting for? You just the devil, man. He killing his own people. Why should we trust him? Why we should trust America to love us if he hates his own, right?
Right.
Now it says, read that scripture again.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Leave, man. How many people right here single mothers raising their child?
That's right.
They left, man. Right? All people. That's why our communities are how it is, because we don't have a two-parent household to raise children no more. Right? All men are out. All men leave. All men leave our children, man. Leave. If it's not because he just don't want to be with that woman, or that woman don't want to be with him, it don't matter, right? A study. It says in 2020 there were about 4.25 million black families in the United States with a single mother. This is an increase from 1990 levels where there was about 3.5 million black families with a single mother. That's what you call fitting the curse. You look at other nations, man, they got strong family values. And America understands that. And that's why they attacked our family. They attacked our family by taking the black man out the house and giving the black woman more money with having the father out the house. That's what they did, man. The feminist movement, all that was a part of destroying the black family, because we as a people, we think that we could solve our issues with everything else but worrying about the family first. And that's why we go out there and prophesy, because Black, Hispanic, Native Americans, we all one family. This is a family matter. That's why we all got to come together and worry about that first. You want to worry about what you got to put your money into. You know what I'm saying? What stocks to invest in, and you got rapists in your family. You know what I'm saying? You got thieves in your family. You want to have a family business, and thieves, you're going to steal the money. You ain't going to grow to nothing, right? All right, give me 28 and 16.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 16. Cursed be he that sitteth light by his father or his mother.
Where you at?
Salakia. I don't want too far.
16, 20 and 16.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city. Cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Right.
Verse 17. Cursed shalt thou be.
That's good. That's good. So, how are we cursing the city and cursing the field? Right? Cursing the city, how we had places where got shot up and bombed. We try to do things in the city. We try to build businesses, and what happens? They come over at Black Wall Street, bomb Black Wall Street. Police coming in our neighborhoods, what happened? Pulling out innocent black men, killing them dead. Right? That's the stuff that we go through, cursing the fields. We was in them fields. We picked cotton, which is the number one reason why America's wealthy today. Yeah, we get no money from it. Right? We do all these different things. The Hispanic brothers, I keep jumping the gun. I'm gonna read what it says. I'm gonna let this talk. All right. This is just a list of names that brothers and sisters who have died from police brutality. Because we are what? Cursing the city. You can't even go in the city, man. You can't even go in the city and sell DVDs while police coming in and bothering you, man. Right?
Right.
It says little names everybody know: Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Dante Parker, Laquan McDonald, George Mann, Tanisha Anderson, Tamir Rice, and it's just gonna keep on naming names. This is probably not even like a percentage of names. Like put a dent in names, because this is just people they talk about. This is people that we heard that hit the news. Think about the people who never hit the news. The people who just they bury their body somewhere. It's a shame, man. Now this shows you we're going through all this, and it's funny. You had to remember the first scripture we brought out was Deuteronomy 28:1. Right. Lord said, if you follow the laws, statutes, and commandments, what will happen? He will put you on high. So although we're going through these curses, what does that tell you? We could change. We still can get that. We just got to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments, right? Scriptures say this. What child asks his father bread and his father give him a stone? Right. The Lord will give you what you want if you obey him, right? All right. Let me get Lamentations 4:18, right? It says, Black Americans are more than twice as likely to be unarmed when killed during encounters with police as white people. Good night. According to Guardian investigation, which found 102 of 464 people killed so far this year in incidents with law enforcement officers were not carrying weapons. And that's why it took them people so long to go kill that boy in that school shooting. Because cops don't kill people with guns. Cops kill people that are unarmed. Right. Because they are cowards. Reason why they went up there and went to go get their own children. For so long, they got mad when people started saying defund the police. You act like that was the worst thing somebody could thought of, defunding the police. And we showed why when the police went out there, it was just regular civilians. Mm-hmm. They were supposed to be the honorable people. We supposed to look at them in the time of our need. And what they did, if it wasn't bad enough of them just shooting our kids in the street, killing our kids in the streets, right? Terrorizing our neighborhoods. Now you look at them, we still give them a chance of calling them when we in trouble. And they still don't react. They still don't respond, right? They go in that school, they're going to get their own children. Yet while the mothers and parents were trying to get their children just like the cops did. That's what they did, right? They want to go get their own children. They what? They detain them and what is it? Taser them, man. That's what they did. Should do the exact same thing they was doing, right? And that's what was going on, man. All this stuff that's why them kids dying was your fault if you was a sinner. It's your fault because we all experiencing these curses because we was all disobedient to the Lord, and right. The Lord is judging us as a nation. So you mourning for them children. You see them children dying. Don't go out there and march. Go out there and change your life. Mm-hmm. Stop following the law, statutes, and commandments. If you really sorry, the men of ISUPK, we was mourning. We were sorry enough for them. We were sad enough for them children that we changed our life. That's what we did, right? You got that scripture?
It's the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 18. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come.
Oh, they hunt our steps. That's the whole thing is, man, it's like we are like we have become. You know how they call it a game when you go hunt? You got good game. People love to hunt things. They love to hunt like things that's hard to catch. We like the most simple game there is. Like we just go into the trap. You know what I'm saying? Like they lay a trap right there. We go out there and just put our foot in it. We like, damn, why they got more Planned Parenthood in our communities than theirs? We go out there and still aborting our babies. Like we became so simple, and the reason why we've been destroyed. It's not like as if we in such a stronghold that bad. Like at a certain point in time, man, they was killing people for Christ's name. It was really killing people for Christ's name, man. We don't have the experience that to serve Christ. So what is that telling you? Why you not?
Right.
You can't want to serve this nation and get mad at the same breath. You can't go ahead and get mad about George Floyd and go and protest with the same people the same people who killed them right next to you. Right. And wonder why you ain't got no reparations. And that's what separates us. What separates us is that we demand you change your life. That's what happens. You go all them Black Panther parties, the Nation of Islam, all these things are supposed to be pro-Black. Martin Luther King Jr., all these things that make seem as good for Black people. The number one thing they have in common is that you didn't have to change your life. And that's why people love them things. They love Farrakhan and love these people, not because they talk good, because they get to follow them and not change their life.
Right.
They get to do their lust and call themselves by another name. To walk around with a bow tie and two-piece suit and say, yeah, man, the honorable Muhammad. Right? And don't change their life. And then go try to fight the oppressor. When you go out there and fight against the oppressor and you do the things that he wants you to do, you on that side. Protesting ain't gonna do nothing. That's why they go protest. They don't do no real change because you don't want change. You just want to be with them. You want to bluff. You want to pump fake. You go out there, you go out there and just get tear gas on you. You're not there for the cause. Half y'all just there because you think it sound cool to get tear gas on you. Why? Because you are your father the devil. Right?
Right.
Now, let's see. Y'all can't see the picture, but I got a picture of the different black massacres. I brung it up because most people just think we always bring up Black Wall Street just because Black Wall Street is like the most common one people always know, right? Mm-hmm. It's the most common thing people know, so that's the only way we bring it up. But it's way more black massacres that happen in the United States, right?
Right.
You got New York in 1863. You got Detroit in 1943. Washington in 1919. Philadelphia in 1985. Charleston 2015. Good night. You got all the way New Orleans 1866. Tulsa, that's 1921. Chicago 1919, right? All right. Now, what we on? We on cursing the city?
Well, we just finished limitations.
All right. Yeah.
That's what it was.
Cursing the city? All right. You can read it again when you get it?
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 16.
All right.
Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Right. Cursed shall thou be in the city. You see our cities right now? They're the ghettos. We're poor. We living in hell, man. Like growing up with roaches is a common thing. That's a sad way to live, right? Rats and roaches, man. Rats and roaches, man. But the reason why I did this class like this is to show you that all these things that happened to us, it's also a man that was responsible for doing it, right? Like we're not out here just such a bad people so much, right? Like it's a man who's been chiefly. I need that scripture. Give me that scripture in I believe it's 2 Maccabees. He's been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews. If I could, that's why I did that. Everything that we go through is from somebody, right? The Lord is punishing us through another nation, and the Lord is still going to judge that nation, right? Because the Lord warned us. It's just like if you was to go warn, if you was a man, right, and you warn your daughter, don't go out there wearing that short skirt into the club. You warned her. You like, man, don't go out there. The men down there, you gonna get raped. She go out there, right? What happened to her? She gets raped. She gets what her father said. Well, what happened if she did that? Mm-hmm. Right? Now, is that father not going to wreak vengeance on the people who raped her? He will. The Lord will have vengeance. Will wreak vengeance on our oppressors for doing what they did to us. That's right. It's common sense. Mm-hmm. You got that scripture?
Yeah, this is 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 31.
Mm-hmm.
And thou that hast been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews,
right,
shall not escape the hands of God.
He's not going to escape the hands of God, right? He's been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews, right? We're going to see how this is redlining, right? This is what redlining is. This is why I say cursing the city. You think like it goes deeper than just getting pulled over. It gets deeper than that. A lot of people see racism in a front view, like this is an upper level. When there's levels, there's layers and levels, right? This is redlining, right? So basically, what a redlining was is they marked places where black people live and labeled them as unfit to live,
right? And
denied the people who lived in those areas business loans and home loans. And in return, how they did that? That made the ghettos. You made all these people live in an area where you get denied business and home loans, so the area is going to become what? In poverty. Because right. You make the home value low. You make all that neighborhood low value, which is reason why now they made that area low value. Now they come out here and gentrify our neighborhoods because they get to say so when that house is worth that much. You just told me my house is worth $100,000. Now you coming over here and telling me when you buy my home for $100,000, now it's worth $400,000? That's cursing the city, man. We can't escape it. Then you want to talk about, they want to blame us for why the ghetto, why we in the ghetto. Well, there's crime in the ghetto. We're poor in the ghetto. When you deny those people what? Business loans and home loans.
Right.
So how can I upgrade my standard of living in the ghettos you put me in if I can't even get a business loan? Get a home loan, right? It says neighborhoods where any black people, even only one, lived were marked in red, given the lowest rating, and ruled completely ineligible for home and business loans. Neither the percentage of black people living there nor their social class mattered. So what does that mean? It means that these people who go out there and say, it's not about race. It's about power. It's about money. It don't care if you was LeBron James living in this neighborhood. It was unfit to live. You're going to get that out of there, man. It's never about money. It's never about money. They try to make it seem it's about money to take the race part off. If you want to play about money, we would still be the ones being targeted because you make it about money and you make us poor. You chose black people to make poor. Now you can say it's about money, but in the root of it, you made us poor to make it about money. Good night, man. These devils. All right. Cursing the field, right? Cursing the field, right? Says cotton planters projected the amount of cotton they could harvest based on the number of slaves under their control. In general, planters expected a good... You see how they say cotton planters? That's what they call them. They give them a good name, not slave masters.
Right.
Cotton planters.
Right.
Projected the amount of cotton they could harvest based on the number of slaves under their control. In general, planters expected a good hand or slave to work 10 acres of land and pick 200 pounds of cotton a day. An overseer or master measured each individual slave's daily yield. Great pressure existed to meet the expected daily amount, and some masters whipped slaves who picked less than expected. That's cursed in the field. You got to show me another nation who's going through what we went through, or went through what we went through, right? Let me get verse 30, Deuteronomy 28 and 30.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Wasn't
all women taken from us? Didn't they take our women and rape our women? Right? Keep going.
And this is Deuteronomy 28, verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
Let me tell you something, man. Black and Hispanics build houses every day, and that we do not get to dwell in. Who built the White House? Right? Mexicans right now, they build it. They go in all the constructions. They building up America right now. I bet they work so much for America, and America hates them for it. And that's why they don't get to dwell in. We build America. And that's how that's why we should be angry. We should be angry from the fact that we see these people, like white people don't understand why they should get judged for the crimes of their ancestors. Because you are directly benefiting from the bloodshed of my ancestors.
Right.
You come over here, we build a house, we build a house, we live in our house, and our house gets stolen from us. Right? Gets stolen from us. That's our house. Now, that person whose house got stolen, he have descendants. And the person who stole the house, he have descendants. And his descendants move in that house. Well, his descendants watch them other people live in the house that was his grandfather's. And the people in the house are like, well, my granddaddy owned this house. He took it from me. That's not my fault. We like, well, give me my house back. No, I'm not going to do that. You just as worse as your granddaddy. You directly benefiting from the bloodshed of my people. Right?
Right.
Now, keep going.
Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shall not gather the grapes thereof.
Right. Now, it says, this is in Mexico, right? San Quentin Valley, Mexico, right? In the fields of berry Mex, one of the largest berry growers in San Quentin Valley of Mexico, laborers hunch over at the waste for hours. They shuffle through long rows of organic strawberry plants, long called the devil's fruit by pickers, maliciously checking each one for ripe fruit. This back-breaking work earned them pennies. 12 cents to pick a 1 pound pack that retails for $4.99 at a Whole Foods near Washington, D.C. That's cursing the field.
Right.
Working all day to go pick strawberries. It's like we work in the fields all day to pick cotton. That's why you can say black. You say black, that Hispanics are not Israelites. Hispanics went through the same exact thing that we went through.
Right.
They're going through the exact same oppression that we are going through. Exact same thing, man. I got right here, building the White House. It said enslaved laborers participated in every stage of building construction, from the quarrying and transportation of stone to the construction of the of the mansion, right? Right?
Right.
So what that mean? We built the whole thing. We built everything, right? And that's the number one thing. When you go to slave things like the like plantations and stuff, and they never glorify the people who actually built it. They glorify the people who designed it, right? Everywhere you go, there was designed people like that, and that's gonna be a time where that's how we're going to be. We're gonna be in our kingdom of heaven, and we're gonna say, "I want my house like this," and then the slaves gonna build it. We're gonna glorify us. I drew this up. It took me 2 minutes.
Right.
We ain't gonna glorify them. We're gonna do the exact same thing they did to us, man.
Yep. Right.
All right, Hispanics laboring, right? The toll of Latinos killed or hurt on the job has steadily grown across the United States, particularly in low-wage jobs where Latino workers predominate: construction, meat processing, landscaping, farm work, and warehouse. Housing. They injured or they die minimum wage, working to just put food on your table. That's just slavery. Slavery, after you gotta, I'm jumping the gun too, but I'm gonna get back into it. After slavery, we had sharecropping. You had to do that to do what? To get food and a place to live. Well, why we work today? To get food and a place to live. That's slavery. All right. This is taking our wives, right? All right. It says, however, they did on occasion rape married women. The inability of the slave husband to protect his wife from such violation points to another fundamental aspect of the relationship between enslaved men and women. The paternalistic language of slavery, the restrictions of slave law, and the circumstances of slave life created a sense of parity between black wives and husbands. Right? Meaning, like, these men made the respect of a man go out the door because we couldn't protect our wives. And that's why women hate men today, because we in poverty. We being oppressed. We go work 80 hours a week, right? And all women feel as though they could just go grab them a white man and live the life, right? It says, what is more, labor segregation by sex and the frequency with which male slaves were sold meant women were not only left to raise their children alone, but also to rely on female friends and relations above husbands. Like, that's how we come. They look at they woman friends higher than their husband as having a husband. Why? What a man gonna do for me? He ain't gonna protect me. Right. In the same breath, want to be an independent woman. You know what I'm saying? This is all coming from slavery, right? Can we get Deuteronomy 28 verse 37?
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 37.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, with the Lord shall lead thee.
Right. What's some names that we was called? What's some names we call today? Right. Black. African American, right? We had Afro American at one point.
Right.
Negro, niggas, right?
Right.
They call us that. And why is it a byword? Why is it a byword, right? Because it's not Israel. It's not Israelites.
Right.
It's not the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Manasseh. It's not that. That's why it's a byword, right? What they call Mexican. The fact they call them Mexicans is the byword in itself.
Right.
Spics, Latinas, wetbacks.
Right.
Or them illegal immigrants.
Right. That's right.
That's the bywords where we go. We're not respecting in our land, in this land, right? What they call Indians, Redskins, Native Americans. That's why when we go out there, we say so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We say so-called because that's what we are called today. Go ahead.
It wasn't too long ago. They just changed the name of the Washington team, actually.
Right. That's America for you, man. America over give you little handouts and no real reparations.
Right.
You changing the team of the Redskins doesn't mean them people in them reservations ain't still dying and getting drunk.
That's right.
You think we want your name to change from Redskins? We want you to get out this land. They want you to get out the land. They want our land back. You don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as they get caught doing something, they got to make a change, act like they're with the people.
Right.
Right. All right. That's even like them. They named the army to conquer them, and they named their helicopters Apache, Black Hawk, man. Right? That's the pride.
That's right.
That's the number one reason why they gotta be destroyed. The pride to let them know that, like, when you read it in this is what the Lord said He's gonna do to us, right? Meaning that what? The Lord controlled all this. The Lord allowed this to happen to us. So Esau, he think that he has some power. He think he has some power because he was able to do all this. That he's so strong, he's so prideful that nobody could bring him down, right?
Right.
Lord got shown the only reason why this happened because my children was disobedient. That's the only reason why you got your rulership. And that for that reason, you got to be humbled. You got to be thrown down, right? All right, verse 32.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32.
Mm-hmm.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people,
Mm-hmm.
and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long,
Mm-hmm.
and there shall be no might in thy hand.
That's what happened. We already know that happened.
That's right.
We already know, but it's still happening today.
That's right.
Right? It says at the border. The Trump administration's current crackdown on families that cross the border illegally has led to hundreds of children, same as young as 18 months, being separated from their parents. The parents are being sent to federal jails to face criminal prosecution, while their children are being placed in shelters operated by the Department of Health and Human Services. Often the children have no idea where their parents or when they will see them again. Now, you think they're living in good conditions over there, separated from their parents? This is slavery today, right? Read that verse again.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32.
Mm-hmm.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Who's watching over them kids? They're not watching over their kids. The Department of what? Health and Human Services.
Right.
Come on, man. Right? Boarding. Now we're going to talk about boarding schools, right? It says another period of family cruelty, Fernandez said, began in the late 1800s and lasted well into the 1970s, when indigenous children across the country were forcibly separated from their families and sent to Indian schools. What's that? Boarding schools, right? At the boarding schools, the children were required to assimilate. They were stripped of their language and culture. Often they were physically and sometimes sexually abused. These are boarding schools. The same exact thing. Like they took their children to go beat the American culture into them.
Right.
There's so much. I wish I had the video pulled up, man. The man had like flashbacks who lived through it. They cut the people hair off. They give them a suit and tie, make them speak English. If they ain't speaking it good enough, they would hit them upside the head. That's what they did.
Right.
That's Native Americans.
That's right.
Why? Because Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the same people.
Right.
We're the same people because we go through the exact same thing, man. All right. This is slavery. After the men were all sold, they then sold the women and children. They ordered the first woman to lay down her child and mount the auction block. She refused to give up her little one and clung to it as long as she could. But a cruel lash was applied to her back for disobedience. Disobedience. That's what you call the people that, like, when your child being disobedient. She was being disobedient because she wanted her child. She pleaded for mercy in the name of God, but the child was torn from the arms of its mother. Amid the most heart-rending shrieks from the mother and child on the one hand, and bitter oaths and cruel lashes from the tyrants on the other. Finally, the poor little child was torn from the mother while she was sacrificed to the highest, bitter, And this way, the sale was carried on from beginning to end. Good night, man. I got a couple. Y'all can't see them, but I got a couple pictures up here that show that a woman's child being taken from her. And that's what they did, man. Take a child while they're young, because they was in the fields while they was young.
Right.
It was in the fields while they're young, man. That's what these people did into us, man. We out here still trying to choose to love them. Like, you gotta understand something, man. Why would America choose to love us when they made all their money and all their success was coming from treating us bad?
Right.
So why would you, if you was in relationship, ask yourself, would you sacrifice the thing that made you be in relationship in the first place? You wouldn't do that yourself. So why you expected them to do it, right? All right. Now, that was back then. What is happening right now? All right. This is sex trade survivors are disproportionately women of color. In a 2-year review of all suspected human trafficking incidents across the country, 94% of all sex trafficking victims were female. 40% were Black, and 24 were Latino, right? It said Latinx. That's what it says, right? And now that's Black and Hispanics. 40% Black, 24% Hispanics, right? And South Dakota Native American women represented 40% of sex trafficking victims, though Native Americans are only 8% of the population. That is slavery right now. Right?
That's right.
Good night, man. Let me get Deuteronomy 28 and 48.
Like, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
Super heavy. Like back to that verse, Deuteronomy 28, 32.
Mm-hmm.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given to another people. Like that did that actually does go on today, because when you look at CPS,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of black and Hispanic kids get taken away from their parents.
Right.
You understand, especially when we under oppression, and our people are going through all kind of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
They try to escape with drugs and violence, and their kids get taken away. A lot of these Black and Hispanic kids get put into white homes.
Right.
So when you go to restaurants or you go to the grocery store, you're seeing our children walking around with our oppressor, man. You understand?
Right.
That's right. About it,
right. And that's so deep, because we was talking about that earlier. It's like them being separated from their families. The white man think they're doing them a good thing by taking their kids away from a struggling household and putting them with white families. Now that leaves the child mentally messed up. Why? Because now he's looking at that white people as their savior.
That's right.
Now, when they say their mom or somebody get off of drugs or get their life better, they trying to go to their child like, I don't love you.
Damn.
I don't love you. Not you. Your alliance is with those white people. And when you living off the white people, you not even like the way they even treat you and make you feel like a slave, right? And you now you feel as though like, I can't even try. I don't love my own people, man.
Damn.
I don't even love my own people. Go ahead.
And them raising you, they don't love that child that they adopted.
Right.
They're usually getting a check for them.
Right.
How they don't love them is because look at Colin Kaepernick. He grew up, went to the NFL, but as soon as he stood up for his people, all the people who he grew up with and everything turned their back on him.
Right. Damn right. That's it. Because we the only people that think it's not about the race.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, he like Colin Kaepernick, like that's like the whole reason why he had a confused like stance. Cause like you trying to stay for black people, but at the same time you still love your white parents.
Right.
Like you want to love the people who like it's like that saying always kills us. They be like, not all white people are bad. That's what keeps real change from coming.
Mm-hmm.
Cause now you gotta sit down and find out if these white people are really good. I'm pretty sure all the people who pass these laws for black people, you go talk to them, you don't think they bad. For damn, that man who shut up them school in Buffalo, a black man talked to him.
Right.
He's like, man, he was a regular dude.
Right.
Because you judge people by the way they talk. That's how we are. My parents, man, they did a hell of a job raising me. Matter of fact, if I could, if y'all ever watched that he did a own documentary of his life. And you could see how Colin Kaepernick, he did a documentary of his life. It was on Netflix. And you see how him being raised with white people was like worse than growing up in the hood.
Right.
Like the stuff he had to go through and he go back home to his parents and his parents be racist towards him. They even want him to put braids in his head.
Right.
Like, it's just a shame, man, what people go through, man. It's just a shame they even allow white people to adopt black kids.
Right.
And they do it just to show the fact that black people can't take care of their kids.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right. And also, so like, I mean, it also goes back to, I can keep talking, so like,
you guys,
but it also goes back to whenever our oppressor has a track record of whenever they want to take rulership over a people or over a nation, they always make that people take on their religion or their God. Right. So when they take our children and they adopt our children, right, they put their God, their religion, their ideology, their philosophies into that black or Hispanic boy. So now he's more likely to be obedient to white culture, white society. You understand? Not be with his own people, not be like not have a sense of pride for his own people, a sense of hope or love for his own people, because he has a white mind now, right? Come on.
No, damn right, sir. Like what you said is heavy, because even with children nowadays, it's like with the women too. Because every time you see somebody like you would see them talk like somebody, a black person in a like in politics, in a good position in government, right? They be saying stuff. I'm like, what the hell? And it's like you go see her husband's a white man.
Yep.
And that's how it is. So like you just speaking to your husband. That's how the traitors be, the people who just be with white people. You know what I'm saying? Because you naturally, like you a child, you naturally gonna look up to the people raising you. Right. You a woman, you naturally gonna take with your man. Right? Now, that's the same thing with this. It was a woman on this talk show, right? Her name not important, but she used to be all for black people. She get with a white man. Now all she talk about is like white supremacy. Like she talk about how good white people are. Like, oh, it's not everybody. She literally cut, like you would literally see clips of her saying one thing, and next now she's not saying that no more. Why? Because she's with a white man.
That's right. And
now when you make alliance with them, that's why it's hard to talk, because, well, I can't say what I want to say because it's going to offend the people I love.
Right.
And I love white people, but I'm also tired of what I'm going through, even if it's because of white people. That's where we stand at right now. That's why we got to separate, right?
That's right.
All right. Deuteronomy 28:48.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he has destroyed thee.
Okay, now I'm going to start with the first verse, right? So, or the top of the verse. We serve our people in want of everything. Like, we think that since we go out there and get a good job that we are free. You know what I mean? Like, we go out there, you want to start you a business, you want to start you a grocery store, where you gonna get your fruit, your fruit and stuff from?
Right.
You want to start your clothing line, where you getting your clothes from? Where you getting the fabric from? Where you use your diamonds coming from, your gold coming from? Everything that we want, everything we think we own, it comes from somebody else. Like, even when we start businesses, it's only like, it's like the bread, the crumbs of the bread. We become like black people. We think we just want to make six figures. That's what we want. Let me make about $9,000 a month. I'm good, right? They over there. They like, man, I'm trying to make $100,000 a month, $200,000 a month, right? We got to serve these people and everything. You want to serve these people. You got to go to your job. You got to go to your job to do what? Feed your family. You got to go to a job for what? You thirsty. Hey man, I got this money ain't gonna make itself. That's the only reason why Black, Hispanics, Native Americans work like we do. Like, we go to jobs just to feed our family, and we don't even look at it like we in a high position. Like, right. You know what I'm saying? We don't go there and be like, we be in a position doing a good job. We just here just to make enough change. We might want to go up to make more money. Well, white people be in the exact same position we in, and act if this is a punishment. You know what I'm saying? You didn't think you're doing good for yourself because you a manager at this business, right? Then boom, a white man come in making the same money as you, and he's walking around like he's angry because his dad kicked him out of the house. He angry that his dad didn't give him the higher position, he gave him that position. Y'all making the same money. You think your life good? He's like, man, this is hell. Right? Now, sharecropping. Right? What was sharecropping? Sharecropping is what they did after slavery. Right? The reason why I put this in is because This is the exact same thing as slavery. And we had to do this to do what? Because we was thirsty, because we was hungry, because we need things, we need housing, we need all this. So in return, we had to go and work for somebody. We had to go work for the oppressor, right? So the widespread economic exploitation of the Black community continued for generations after slavery's end due to discrimination, violence, and terrorism. In addition to convict leasing systems that re-enslaved Black people through criminalization and lynching, that enforced white supremacy through terror, sharecropping, and disenfranchisement created a system of unchecked racialized economic domination, man. It's good night. I mean, what these people dominated economic over us through race.
Right.
Through praying over us for our race, right? Within years of emancipation, laws and lending practices largely barred Black people from land ownership. In Georgia in 1910, for example, more than 40% of white farmers were landowners compared to just 7% of Black farmers, while more than 50% of Black farmers were sharecroppers or wage workers. Through sharecropping, white landowners hoarded the profits of Black workers, agricultural labor, trapping them in poverty and debt for generations. So what's sharecropping? Basically, if you don't own nothing, own no land, right? You could rent out somebody's land, and that man said, well, if you rent out my piece of land, you got to give me a percentage of the crops you yield. So what they did was they did that, right? And in return, you think about coming straight out of slavery, so you don't have no place to go. Ain't nobody want no Black people working for them if it's not slavery. You know what I'm saying? So it was only probably a handful of people. Majority of the people had to sharecrop.
Right.
When you sharecrop, they're like, okay, make a deal and go and backside on the deal. I said I was only gonna take 20%, but I'm gonna take 90%. Now you just there doing work for him. Now you just still a slave. Now instead of being owned by the person, you own by the state. That's it, right? All right, now read that verse again.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore, thou shalt serve thine enemy, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put an iron yoke upon thy neck until he has destroyed thee.
Until he has destroyed thee, right? Now, do we have a yoke of iron upon our neck right now? Nope. So what does that mean? That means we are destroyed, right? I'm gonna show this video showing how this is how we are today, right? I'm gonna show this video. It's lagging. Y'all probably can listen to it.
This tragic scene shows a bear that was caged for 20 years, was unable to stop circling despite being released into a huge woodland nature reserve. The bear is named Ina. What you see here was a result of her being kept in a tiny cage at a zoo in the Romanian city of Piatra Neamt, but all she could do was circle endlessly because there was nowhere else to go. When she was freed, she was moved to this reserve, also in Romania, which is run by the AMP Liberty Bear Sanctuary. Her new carer said that she is well looked after and she can mix with other bears, but she still has days like this where she circles endlessly, despite having been freed since 2014. Despite all the natural surroundings that she has to enjoy, she still has days where she's not fully comprehended that the bars are no longer in place around her.
Good night. So basically, that's how we became. It was a bear. A bear had been in captivity for 28 years. They let the bear out of captivity. What happened? Bear was still doing the same thing he was doing in captivity. Now, what's that? What was that for us? They gave us the religions.
That's right.
They gave us the white doctrines until we was what? Destroyed. And they made sure they kept the yoke of iron so we could be obedient to them. And once we became obedient, once they had us, they let us out because now they don't need it. We're not gonna go and kill them. We're not gonna go and revolt. We're gonna want to be with you, right? We wanna go and fight for you. Now it's not your house no more. Now it's our house.
Right.
Now when the big house burned down, you're not saying the house is burning. You saying our house is burning, right? That's how slaves became. Now you think whatever the white man got is yours too. You think it's equal in this place. And that's why we don't need change. We got the changes in our head, just like that bear was. The bear didn't need no enclosure no more. Until he got destroyed, now he's so-called free, he's walking around in circles, thinking that he's still in the cage. Right? Now, I got some pictures of the yoke of iron on here, right? It's important that you understand this because no other nation went through this. And I say no other nation, the Jewish man. Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
I said the Jewish man. Why? Because that's the person who's claiming to be us. And that's why we got to be like, well, if the Lord said this is going to be a sign for his people to let them know who they are, when has the Jewish man went through any of this? What you want to say, the Holocaust? It was the Holocaust? You wasn't having no yoke of iron on you. Right? And all the other curses. Y'all own everything right now. Y'all own everything, man. Y'all women don't hate you. All these different things only apply to Black, Hispanics, and Americans. And you got to understand this because it's not no coincidence that we go through this. We are the greatest people to touch this earth, yet we are treated like dirt. We treat it like dirt because we're the greatest people. That's why. Every other nation got to understand when they keep the Lord chosen people on the bottom, that's when they're going to get their chance. That's when they're going to be able to rule.
That's right.
You can't keep walking around earth. Like only a wise guy will walk through what we go through right now in America and not ask questions. Right. Like how you not just go through, how you not see them kids, how you not see them people get shot down in the grocery store and not ask questions? Right. How do you see the George Floyds and Tamir Rice and Trayvon Martins and not ask questions? And yet you still think it's about the color of our skin? African is not going to fear for his life when he get pulled over.
That's right.
Them Tamir Rice, George Floyd, Trayvon, them not African names. Shoot, goddamn, the Arabs dark as us.
Right.
That's not that. They go to 9/11 and they still not as scared as we is, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have East Indians dark as us. They're not pulling them over. So y'all still think it's about the color of your skin? It's deeper than that. We got to understand that. We got to understand the place that we in right now is something more spiritual than physical.
Right.
Right? Good, sir.
And what you're saying is super heavy because
All right. This is what Native Americans too having what chains on their neck, iron on their neck. Why? Because we are the exact same people.
That's right.
You want to go through other like we shouldn't even have to go through other sources and other texts to prove this. Right? Why? Because we just got to open the scriptures and see who fits these curses. Who fits going to slavery? Who fits their child being sent to somebody else? Native Americans have boarding schools. The Hispanics right now, children are they getting separated from their children at the border. They sex trafficking. Them young women, that's their children, right? That's how you know we are these people. So people come over here and want to talk about how these are not the same people. You hate your people, man. You hate your people, and you are a product of slavery, and you a white supremacist yourself. You know why? Because only white people only deal with color.
Right.
You only don't believe in Native American. You don't believe in Native Americans and Hispanics are people just because of color. Because you know how I know? Because we have brothers in the school that look just like Negroes, but from the tribe of Gad, from the tribe of Reuben,
right.
tribe of Manasseh. So I guess they can't be Israelites. They can't be Israelites though. Come on, man. Our people became silly, man. And that's why you tell people that's how you know they're not in the spirit of Christ, because that's the whole reason why Christ came. To join the nations. To join back the nations. Back then, we was always fighting. Northern Kingdom versus Southern Kingdom. We was always fighting. Christ came to unify all of us. And that's the only place that's happening is in the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge.
Right.
Right? Because we are the body of Christ.
Right.
Right? Deuteronomy 28 and 49.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 49.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth,
Mm-hmm.
as swift as the eagle flieth,
Mm-hmm.
a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Right. These people came from where? Europe. We was on the what? For example, no matter where you was at, you if you were Native American, you the 10 tribes, right? Native American Hispanics, you living in America, right? These people come from all across the country. Across the waters come and enslave these people.
Right.
You got all the west coast of Africa, right? They came all the way across the country, what? Enslaved those people, brought them on ships, right? Now, the thing it says about this is it says from the end of the earth as swift as the eagle flyeth. The key, the spiritual thing about this is, man, you look at all these European nations, what their symbol is the bird, is the eagle. That's their symbol. Not just America, that's everybody.
Right.
Why? Because the bird, the eagle, right? Let me get it. I got it right. Y'all can't see this, but it's a picture. You have America represented by eagle, Russia represented by eagle, Germany represented by eagle, Rome represented by the eagle, even in the Vatican, the eagle, they got Edom represented as an eagle.
Right.
Because Edom represents the eagle because they think they got so much pride and they sit on high,
Right.
and they prey on the weak. They think they got nobody to come and tear them down because they so high.
Right.
That's what Edom thinks, right? Obadiah 1 and 4. You got that?
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, thou shalt set thy nest amongst the stars. Thence will I bring thee down, says the Lord.
That's so, man. Lord, man, let me tell you something. I like the Lord of God word servant, man. He said, I'm gonna let you go ahead, build up. I'm gonna bring thee down. I'm gonna throw you down because you think that you think you the apex predator.
Right.
You think nobody could bring you down. You think your nest above in the stars, man. Who could bring me down, man? And that's why Esau's gonna fall for his pride alone. So how can't you just imagine how what a devil could be so prideful to go against the creator of heaven and earth? To think that just imagine how much pride you gotta have to when Christ come back, you still gonna fight and think you got a chance.
Right.
That's some prideful stuff. And that's why we gotta understand as a people, like the scriptures. No, let me tell you something, man. All these scriptures gotta come to pass. And that's what the scriptures say they're going to fight. So you supposed to be in the church. You're supposed to know these scriptures.
Right.
You're supposed to know the Bible. Why the church still teaching God loves everybody when this is in the scriptures? Why am I going to forgive the white people for what they did when the scriptures say they still going to fight against my king?
That's right.
They still gonna fight, right? Let me tell you something, man. Everybody gonna fight for their life, regardless if you like it or not. Christ only coming to save those who want to be saved, Black, Hispanics, Native Americans. He coming to the white people you love so much, they're gonna get destroyed. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished.
That's right.
Everybody wants to survive. So you think that Tommy, he love you so much? He got a couple black friends. You're gonna see how much he hate black people when a black man come out the sky and he go out there and try to fight against him.
Right.
For his life. Come on, man.
Right.
You got Obadiah 1 and 5, I think.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
If thieves came to thee,
Go to 1-3. Salakia.
book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
Mm-hmm.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitations is high, that says in his heart, who shall bring me to the ground?
That's what he said. He said, who's gonna bring me down? Who's gonna stop me? I ain't giving y'all reparations. Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna do it? I don't have to. Oh, I made a treaty with you. I made about 500 treaties, but if I don't keep them, what's gonna happen? That's what he is. A bully. Let me tell you something. The Lord bullies bullies. That's what the Lord does, and these people are gonna know. And that's what we gotta understand. We gotta understand, like if the Lord says He's gonna bring this down, He's gonna bring thee down by Israel.
Right.
Israel is His battle axe.
Right.
So what we gotta do? Just go back to the law, statute, commandments.
That's right.
That shows you how weak America is.
That's right.
America's so weak that it's only running off of Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
That's right.
If we stop doing what we did, how weak can a kingdom be if I put down the blunt, your kingdom gonna fall?
Right.
That's a weak kingdom.
That's right.
That's a weak kingdom, man. We gotta stop looking at America as if it's an eagle.
Right.
If it's an apex predator, man. We gotta stop doing that.
Right.
When the Lord already promised that He's gonna tear it down, you either gonna be with the Lord or against the Lord. You choose. It's already written. We the winning side of it. And common sense tell you to join the winning team. Everybody joins the winning team. We tell you that we won already. That's how deep it goes. We're not gonna tell you. We tell you we won. It's already written. We won. We just living for these scriptures to come past. That's it. That's all we waiting on. That's how much our faith is. Right?
Right.
Let me get go ahead, sir.
And also it just shows how prideful and proud the so-called our oppressor is.
Right.
White man. Like that's exactly what they say. They say, like, who's gonna make war with America? Like, we have the strongest military, we have the best technology.
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna make war with us? Who's gonna bring us down?
Right.
That's exactly what our oppressor always says. And it's gonna go to show, like, the Lord's gonna bring you down, man.
Right. And that's so deep because the Lord just waited till you get as strong as you think you can.
Right.
Like, think about the Lord came and got his people during like World War I or something. Like,
right.
Bro, like what he's gonna be fighting against, like muskets and cannons? Lord wants you to get all them aircrafts. He wants you to get something worth fighting for. Why? For people could be like, damn, these people came down.
Right.
Oh, Lucifer, how they falling from heaven?
That's right.
That's how it's going to be, because it's going to be like, damn, it's going to have respect into us, because these people, America's looking at as a superpower on the earth, like the strongest nation that ever lived.
Right.
And let me tell you something, America's not even as strong as Egypt was.
That's right.
And the Lord threw down Egypt. Everybody know about that story. You don't even know the Bible. That's fact.
Right.
Egypt was way powerful than America. Now, you still think it's not gonna happen?
Right.
You see COVID-19. You think it's not gonna happen?
Mm-hmm.
You see the monkeypox coming. You think this place is not gonna get destroyed?
Right.
Man, you must be a fool, man.
Right. This is the weakest kingdom.
The weakest kingdom.
Of all kingdoms.
Weakest kingdom. Weakest.
Right.
Like I said, the only thing that makes America strong is the doctrine that gave Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You think America's strong because you love Caesar Borgia so much.
Right.
That's what you love. You love the religion of America, right? You want the American dream so bad, and you choosing to be anything but what God wants you to be, and everybody wanting to be like you. You want to be Buddhist. You want to be Islam. You want to be in the Christian church. You want to be in Christianity, and all them people did that to be like you.
Right.
Muhammad made that up after you. The Jewish people got that from you. Christianity from you. And they did something to make their people. They did that to make their people on high. They made the religions to make those people on high. So if you go and join the people's religion that made them on high to be set apart, that's going to make you. That's going to make you a servant in that religion.
Right.
You're going to be on the bottom. You're going to be low-class citizens of that religion. We in the ISUPK, we choose not to be second-class citizens in our own book. I'd be damned if I be a second-class citizen in my own book, man.
Right.
You go in there and want to say God loves everybody. It don't matter if you're a Jew. It don't matter. That's why people say it don't matter. If those people was the Jews, they be like, no, I'm the chosen one.
Right.
You know how I know? Because they not and they still say it.
That's right. Yeah, right.
Good night.
That's right.
All right, Deuteronomy 28 and 50.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, no short favor to the young.
Let me tell you something, man. It's like some of these stuff, to be honest with you, I can just read and you know that we're going through it. That's why all we gotta do is show these scriptures to people and they be like, dang.
Right.
Because you live in this.
Right.
You living this oppression. Like, you know you watch the news and you seen that boy went up there and shot up the Tops grocery store.
Right.
Those are all elders up in there, like over 50.
Right.
They don't show no faith, no regard. It don't matter if you younger, you old, you going to get it. They used to rape our children. It don't matter. Let me tell you, they would kill our children, man. A decent human couldn't even have a stomach to kill a child.
Right.
Now you go over there. Now they come over here and just take our children and rape our children, molest our children. That's what they do. That's why. Because we in Roman Greco Empire. That's what they love to do. They love children so much so that's why they don't like wearing beards. They love people who look like children.
That's right.
That's their that is their culture. Homosexuality, pedophilia, that's their culture.
Right.
That's their law, statutes, and commandments is to do that. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? It's a law for America to be a homosexual. That's their laws.
Right.
That's the book they follow. You still want to subject yourself unto that? You could go subject yourself to the Bible if you're a Black, Hispanic, Native American man. I guarantee you somebody's not going to tell a child.
Right. Right.
Only thing that's stopping you from protecting your children is you. That's it. You want children to stop dying when they go to elementary school? You got to change your life. You the reason why they get shot up. Because you don't love your child.
That's right.
It says slave masters extract the labor from virtually the entire slave community. Young, old, healthy, and physically impaired. Like, it don't matter. Like, you could have been walking with no legs. You got to crawl and get this work done. And the reason why we got to let you know, because sometimes through the Christian church and everything, they always tell us to forgive and forget. Like, we don't even have the masculine, like the warrior spirit no more, because we do not know the things that we went through. We don't know, like, you think like slavery just picking cotton, you think it's a good old day. When they like, bro, you can have no broken legs, you were caught to go out there and work. You know what I'm saying? You old, you dying, you still gotta go out there and work. Right? Children as young as 3 or 4 were put to work. Good night. Usually in special trash gangs, weeding fields, carrying drinking water, picking up trash, and helping in the kitchen. Young children are also fed chickens and livestock, gathered wood chips for fuel, and drove cows to pasture. Between the ages of 7 and 12, boys and girls were put to work in intensive field work. Order of physically handicapped slaves were put to work in cloud houses, spinning cotton, weaving clothes, making clothes. All right. Y'all can't see it, but I got a scripture. I got a picture of the Buffalo shooting, the victims of the Buffalo shooting, right? Reason why, to show you how they all of old age. Now, these are people who would live the life, and they wanted there to probably just go get milk and fruit. You know what I'm saying? And goddamn, this got shut down. You think like in our, like, even as us, right? Like, they talk a lot about the gang activity and violence that we have, but we even in a sense don't go out there and kill kids.
Right.
Like, we don't, like, I know some people, like, I'm not trying to support this lifestyle, but you even see somebody you beefing with in the streets, you're not going out there, and they with their kids, you're not finna, they with their family, you're not finna just up on them.
Right, right.
Right? So even if they painting us as animals, they still got some type of code. You walk in there, turn 18 to get an AR-15, but just start busting. Right? Like, good night. All right, this right here, let me get verse 64.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 64.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people,
Mm-hmm.
from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
Mm-hmm.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known,
Right?
even wood and stone.
Like, we scatter amongst everybody, among all people. That's why we call ourselves what? African Americans,
Right.
Hispanics. That's why in the scriptures, that's who the Gentiles was. The Gentiles was people who was amongst all these different nations, right? If I was in Rome, if I was a black man in Rome, I'd be a Roman. I might call myself a Roman. This is I'm a black man in America. I call myself an American. We are throughout all nations, and that's why all nations are blessed through us. All nations are blessed through us because we in those nations. Look at all the inventions. Who made those? It says, let me see if I got anything on here. It says, and there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. Our fathers never knew Christianity. Our fathers never knew Islam. They knew that's what it is. Allah is a rock, a stone. And all people going to serve that if it's not Christianity, right? The wood, that's that cross they put on high.
Right.
They love putting that cross on high. Catholics, our Hispanic brothers and sisters, they in the Catholic Church by the numbers. And what you see with them all around their neck all the time, a rosary. Always praying, holding that rosary as if it has something in power because they are serving the wood. Ain't no God behind it. Ain't no God ain't no Allah, ain't no real God. So when you go in there and praying to that rock, who you praying to? You praying to a rock, right? All right. It says even in the early 20th century, when Islam had little presence in most parts of the United States, the religion had a foothold in many Black urban communities. Today, Black people make up 20% of the country's overall Muslim population, according to 2017 Pew Research Center survey. 20% of Black people make up the 20% of the country's overall Muslim population is from Black people. That's where we at right now. We are serving this jailhouse religion,
Right.
the jailhouse God, right? Oh, I got this another statistic, right? Let me get it up on here if I can read it. All right, it's a Black Americans are more likely to be Christian than Americans overall.
Right.
Meaning that we are more likely to be a religion that wasn't even ours. So we subjecting ourselves onto a people more than they are. Like their strength of Christianity come from us. Right? All right. It says the percentage of Black people who are historical Black Protestant is 53%, 14% are Protestant, 4% are another Protestant, a mainline Protestant, 5% is Catholic, 3% is other Christian, and they got the rest is just whatever, right? Unaffiliated, right? But that's 53%. In total, that's about 5, 6, 70, 80% of our people is into basically everything is Christianity. If it ain't the truth, it's Christianity because every religion is teaching that God loves everybody. Right? Hispanics, of course, you know where they're going to be at. 48% Catholic Church.
Right.
Good night, man. It says 29. Good night. Let me see. 19% of whites are in the Catholic Church.
Damn.
That's supposed to be their religion.
Right.
Good night, man. So just imagine we just stop doing these religions. They're going to all fall. Right. All right. Let me get I don't know if I'm gonna do this. Let me get Deuteronomy 28 and 61 real quick. I'm gonna be short on this one.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 61.
Mm-hmm.
Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
Let me tell you something, man. We are getting these diseases at a higher rate than other races. We are like, I got it right here. I got it right. I'm just gonna read it. It said by race and ethnicity, right? The annual number of HIV infections in 2019 compared with 2015 decreased among persons of multiple races, but remained stable for persons of all other races, ethnicities in 2019. The highest rate was for Black African Americans persons, 42%, followed by Hispanics, 21%, and everybody else. So we're leading in HIV. Why? That homosexuality is their culture. It's not our culture. So we go against our God, we're going to be judged accordingly, right? It says COVID-19, right? These plagues are hitting us, and they're hurting us at a rate because we don't not got, like time is running up. Like real talk, like the grace period they teach in the church, that's running out. That grace period is running out. The Lord is sending these things to show you that this grace period is running out. People are dying for the Lord to tell you time is running out.
Right.
Time to get your life together. That's the warning. You pray all day. You grab that rosary all day and pray, and you go to a Christian church and you pray for a sign. And that sign is here. We go out there and prophesy the destruction. That's the sign. COVID-19 was a sign. Monkeypox is a sign. The HIV you get HIV for sleeping with the same sex. That ain't no sign. You go and be like, man, Lord, tell me if this is a bad idea. Tell me this is a good idea. Then boom, people are dying from HIV for sleeping with the same sex. You're not gonna be like, that's a bad idea then? No, in return, you make a medicine to promote your lifestyle. You on TV right now, man. You still go on cable. All they have is damn commercials about medicine for homosexuals. They promote that lifestyle because they're gonna get it by any means. And our people became wicked for that. Just imagine how wicked you gotta be, we of our father the devil so much that instead of changing our life to make an easier life, just to sleep with the different sex, a man for woman, one for man, we choose to just go out there and take medicine for it. And then go to church and still pray to the God that he's going to love us. Right. If you are homosexual, you are a murderer. If you are homosexual and you know that you could give another man AIDS and you still sleep with another man, what does that make you? A murderer. You know you're gonna give him that disease, and yet you're like, well, your lusts surpass the needs of another person. And that makes you a murderer. That man who shot up them children, he was a brother, but he was of his father, the devil. You know why? Because he was a homosexual. Right. And if you're a homosexual, you're a white supremacist. Yeah, I'm right. You don't have to be white to be a white supremacist. All you have to be is for the white man and his ways and his culture. And you with him, you a white supremacist. And he was a homosexual. He was with the white race. With white America. So he thought he's seen how America glorifies school shooters, and he wanted to be just like his father, the devil, so bad, he wanted to go kill his own people. Just to realize he was still a spick in America. That's all he realized, because that boy who shot up them black people in the grocery store, they put their hands behind his back. They got him out safely. Right. But they shot that man down. Why? Because you still a Hispanic. You still, at the end of the day, you go out there and try to sacrifice your own people for America's love so much, and just to get humbled at the ending. Just to get humbled. That's what our people got to realize, man. You think choosing this side and just not owning that side is gonna make you be white in America? No, man. Why? Because it always is about who you are. That's what it's about. America just make you do them things because they don't want you in the state that God wants you in. They want you to be. If they're not gonna kill you all, they gotta make sure that you're homosexuals. If we're not gonna kill y'all, we gotta make sure that y'all smoking weed. That's what they gotta do. Make sure we do those things for our nation can still be strong, for you can still run a nation, right? Right. Now, where am I at? All right, let me get the last verse, 68. Sluggy, real quick. This last verse right here is like the final blow. Like these are like warnings. Like you do this, and 68 is like that. It's like the blow, right? And if you don't understand who you are after this verse, it's just you choosing to be like somebody else, right? You choosing not to take your culture makes another race take it. Right. You give your honor to another nation, right? Reason why these people took our culture because it was up for grabs. We didn't want it. We disobeyed the Lord, right? We want to do these different religions, and that's why the Khazars, they chose that, because they like, boom, we got Christianity over here, we got Islam. Let's just take this Old Testament. Let's take their culture, but we won't subject ourselves to those people, right? Let me get that verse.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. Mm-hmm. And the Lord shall bring thee to Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships. By the way whereof I speak unto thee, and they shall see it no more again.
Right, you should not see your homeland again no more. Right? Go ahead.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
No man shall buy you. What that mean? No man will redeem you. Yeah, right. No man gonna come and save you out what I'm gonna bring you through. Right. And we see that right now. We seen how we had people that come here and we thought we had the Marcus Garvey was going to save us. Right. Farrakhan was going to save us. Malcolm X was going to save us. Martin Luther King, he was going to save us. We thought them people was going to save us, but we couldn't escape the Lord's hands because you got to do what the Lord said to do to escape this.
Right. That's right.
You got to change your life. You got to do the law, statute, commandments in order to change your life, in order to escape what you want to get out of.
That's right.
That shows you how much you are upset or mad about this oppression.
Right.
Because every time the Lord always had to humble us to bring us back to him. Just like if a son being disobedient, the father's gonna be like, well, you don't want to follow my rules, get the hell out of my house. But the father will always let that child come back in if what? He follows the rules of that house.
Right.
The father let him leave off and become a straight and let him go through all them vile things in the world to show to him that he was wrong and I am right.
Right.
And your power comes from listening to me.
That's right.
That's how you choose life and not death. Right? Now y'all can't see these pictures, but these are pictures to show you that we were coming off of that we was coming off of these are inventory. A lot of people think inventory from the ships, of the slave ships, right? They kept inventory. A lot of people have this thing where they think the slave trade was like this big old out of order thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was no inventory kept. They never kept the inventory of ships. You can't find no records of it, but you can find records. This was an organized thing. Why? Psalms 83 said they made a confederate against us. Mm-hmm. They all came together and they made sure they was gonna make money off it. The Jewish man had us in slavery.
That's right.
So-called Jewish man that you want to be like so bad. So-called Jewish man LeBron James went to and loved. He had his ancestors in slavery. The damn Arabs built the boats. You know what I'm saying? The Africans shipped us over, sold us into them. White man bought us, put on a month's journey in them boats, man.
Right.
Bad living conditions, man. I got the pictures. I'm gonna get this later. The ships, man, we stacked like sardines. You show me another people coming in slavery in ships stacked like sardines. You sitting next to your wife and your children, your nakedness uncovered. She get her time of the month. She got to do it right then and there. They ain't making no accommodations for her. You got to defecate. You got to do it right then and there. You know how much, that's how people was dying. You dying straight from disease.
Yeah, right.
You imagine going through that, then turn around to say you forgive somebody for that.
Right.
Imagine being in that place and they come down and take your son, take your daughter and go rape them and bring them back. Imagine going through that, man. And y'all want to still go ahead and love this dude? You wouldn't love a man who come and step on your shoes in the club.
Right.
But you're going to love the people who raped your ancestors, raped your forefathers, took your children. You people just over there throwing up on themselves, man. It was so bad. To this day, the sharks still swim the same trail. Like, it's so, like, I read that you still smell the stench of the boats from like 2 miles away. Mm-hmm. Like, think about that and think about how these devils would just come over here and just live life. The stench was 2 miles away and you on the boat. They over there on the boat living life, still eating, still come and take a slave who is defecating on himself, pissing on himself, and come and rape them. Right. These are beasts we are being oppressed by.
Right.
These are beasts you're trying to love.
That's right.
Come on, man. You gotta be out your damn mind and think that we're gonna put ourselves, we're gonna keep up with that, man. Mm-hmm. That we're not with that. If the Lord said we're gonna change our life to get out of that we're gonna change our life. You don't love your people, and that's why the Lord gonna punish you with the heathen. You choosing the heathen over your people, over the people who's oppressing you. No other nation would never do that.
Right.
They go in there, the people go there in Afghanistan, America in Afghanistan, they throwing rocks at the tanks. And look at you going to that church praying, running around speaking gibberish, jumping up and down, marrying white women, marrying white men, becoming homosexuals. Good night. I just got some pictures on here about the conditions we lived in. Got a slavery advertisement for people to say we wasn't sold. You got even people who say that you got people who say that slavery was not real. That's what you call like trauma. Like, when people go through certain stuff in life, they forget. The brain will forget that traumatic experience to save them. Now here are people coming out here. You got people saying we never went through slavery. We never went through slavery, man. And we got records. That's why I brought records. So we got advertisements of them selling slaves, right? Boom, boom, slavery advertisements. I think that's about it. Oh, read that verse again, Bible Child. We need the top verse. Read it again.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord shall bring thee to Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I speak unto thee.
Egypt again. Right? What's Egypt mean? The land of bondage, right? You got the precept? I think it's Exodus 20 and 2.
Yeah, Exodus 22.
You got something to say though, sir, while I get that?
No, you good. But no, what you saying is that, you know, that's, I mean, what other people went into slavery on slave ships? You know, that's clearly talking about Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, man. You understand? We were the ones that were sold across the Atlantic, sold to Spain, sold to the Portuguese, sold to the so-called white man. You understand? And it was all done by the people that are Confederate against us. You understand? The so-called white man, the so-called East Indian, the so-called Arabs, the African, you know what I'm saying? They claim to be African. How the hell are we going to be claiming to be African when they're the ones who sold us for umbrellas, for bottles of wine, for just little things that mean nothing, man. You understand? So,
but damn right, sir, if I could touch on that too, like one point I wanted to say about the African part, like I want America's biggest thing for making you hate one another, like always bringing out these curses and how America made these curses happen, right? How they contribute to these curses, right? What they did to make this happen. Like we come up and growing up and hate each other and don't trust each other. Why? Because they say that we sold each other into slavery. Right. Most idiotic thing. Right. That's why we go out there and make sure that we're not Africans, because Africans sold us. America's the only nation that ever put color on a high. Who only did with color? Why he calls us the white man and black man? So now you're looking at it as a color basis, where it's not about color. Right. It's about race. So now you're looking at the African man as your own. We're not Africans. Africans sold us. That's Africans tell you go to Africa, they tell you that right now. Africans don't lie. They call us katas, right? Niggas. Right. We are not the same. That's what they say. We are not the same. It's going to be a coming, and that's why I want you to remember. Always remember that these people. It's not as if these people have us in chains and they be like, man, we got the Israelites in chains. Like they honor us. They look at us like he just said. We were sold like 50 slaves for an umbrella. Right. Like you took the Lord's chosen people and sold them for wine. Right. And that's why Africa's poor right now. They over there selling us for umbrellas and want to make a mockery out of us. Now they're poor themselves. Right. If you knew how much precious cargo you really had, you would have got something for it. Now that mockery gonna fall on all these oppressors' heads. They're gonna see that black man come out the sky and save the people that need saving. Save the people who are least desired in the earth. And they're gonna be set on high. And we're going to remember. We're gonna remember this, like y'all talk, remember 9/11, remember the Alamo. We're gonna remember all the things y'all did into us. All the things you done did into us, man. We're gonna be in our kingdom of heaven. Then we're gonna treat you accordingly. Right? Right. Now, I forgot I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah, Native Americans too. Native Americans was the first people on slavery with ships. They came over here with Christopher Columbus. He came over here and took the Native Americans first. Right? That's what he did. What they gonna say? Oh, Native Americans, they don't fit the curses. They don't fit the curses. When they was on slave ships. Right. Come on, man. All right, I think that's about. Oh, now you said Egypt, right? Egypt means land of bondage. Now we in America, right? Now I got these pictures, right? America loves Egypt. America is like spiritually Egypt. That's right. They love Egypt so much, right? It's like you go on the dollar bill, right? You see the pyramid on the dollar bill, right? I got something right here. It says, one of the images on the Great Seal is that of the Great Pyramid, which also includes the eye above it, right? You see that on the dollar bill, right? It says that is symbolic of the eye of Horus, who was a falcon god of the sky and war. So that's what America loves Egypt, right? Now, another picture. America dollar bill. We has American eagle on a dollar bill. This is Horus of ancient Egypt or Kemet. Looks like the exact same thing. Exact same thing, right? Boom, next picture. You got an obelisk. Right. Obelisk in ancient Egypt. You know what an obelisk is? It's a rod. That's what it is. Why? Because the Africans are the original homosexuals.
That's right.
The white man just came and took the baton.
That's right.
That's what he did. That's what he did. They the original homosexuals. And I'm not gonna get into their culture.
Right.
It's disgusting. What you have right here though, the Washington Monument.
Right.
Exact same thing as the obelisk. Why? Because this is spiritually Egypt. Let me tell you something, man. America want to be Egypt so bad, it's going to fall just like Egypt fell.
That's right.
That's what's going to happen, man. They led to their own destruction. Now, that's it. Any questions? Any questions? Nothing online? Yeah, it says. I don't know what these dudes talking about. He's talking about something about nocturnal people. I'm not even getting into that. That's it on that. We got security announcements first before everything else.
It's the ISUPK security announcements. We're at the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If you need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry, tithes, which is the commandments, Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or the teacher. Priest fund, a free will offering, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations.
Upcoming holy convocations. We have the Feast of First Fruits. Starts after the Sabbath, unleavened bread, sundown, Saturday, April 23rd. You're going to count 50 days, celebrate the 50th day, which is Sunday, June 12th. Start before that sundown, and you can find this in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 10 to 22.
Akim and Akwakim, to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. I'll pass the class back over to Priest and Officer Gadiah.
All right, everybody margin, which means stand. We're going to do this Lord's Prayer. All right. So repeat after me. All right. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamkah, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'ah, Watazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathan, Manawa, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalak Nawa, Kawat Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kawawati Nawa, Wala'a, Tabia Anawa, Manasayawan, Abal, Hawashanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahathapa'ara, La Wayam, Aman. All right, in English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. All right. Sisters, you can sit. All right. We're going to do the courtesy salute to the brothers first. All right. In Israel, Majim Shabbat, Majim, Barak, Yahweh, Shem Yahweh, Shabbat, Yahya Matah. Hands down. Sister stand. Majim. Turn to the sisters. We're going to do the courtesy salute to the sisters. I'm in Israel, Majim Shabbat, Majim, Barak, Yahweh, Shem Yahweh, Shabbat. Yahya Matah means hands down. All right, dismiss.